Hello, future doctors. Welcome to Synapse, your ultimate NEET prep platform. Today, we are diving into a fascinating topic from Class 11 Biology, transpiration, even though it's placed under breathing and exchange of gases for this session. We'll explore how plants manage water loss, from the basics to advanced concepts. Get ready for an exciting journey through easy, medium, hard, and hardest levels to master every aspect of transpiration. Let's begin. Starting with the basics, let's understand what transpiration truly means for a plant. Transpiration is essentially the plant's way of breathing out water. It's the process where water absorbed by the roots moves up through the plant and is then lost as vapor, primarily from the leaves, into the atmosphere. Think of it like a plant sweating. This evaporative loss happens mainly through tiny pores called stomata on the leaf surface. Water travels from the soil, through the roots and stem via xylem, and finally escapes from the leaves. While it results in significant water loss, it's a crucial process for the plant's overall health and functioning. Now, let's explore the different ways plants lose water and why this process is so important. The most common type, making up 90 to 95% of water loss, is stomatal transpiration, occurring through regulated stomata. A smaller amount escapes through the waxy cuticle layer on leaves, known as cuticular transpiration, and a very minor amount through small pores on woody stems called lenticels, known as lenticular transpiration. Despite the water loss, transpiration is vital. It creates a pull that helps draw water and essential minerals from the roots all the way up to the highest leaves. It also helps cool the plant, much like sweating cools our bodies, preventing heat damage. Time to test your basic understanding of transpiration with these easy questions. Take a moment to think about the answers before moving on. What is the primary site of transpiration in most plants? Define transpiration in your own words. And finally, name 2 types of transpiration. Good luck! Ready to dig deeper? Let's uncover the intricate mechanisms and factors that govern transpiration. The magic of stomatal transpiration lies in the guard cells. Each stoma, the tiny pore, is flanked by 2 specialized guard cells. These cells act like gatekeepers, controlling whether the stoma is open or closed, which in turn regulates water loss and carbon dioxide uptake. Their turgidity, meaning how swollen they are with water, is key. When light hits the leaves, it triggers an influx of potassium ions into the guard cells. Water then rushes in by osmosis, making the guard cells turgid. As they swell, their unique shape causes them to bow outwards, opening the stoma. Conversely, in darkness or under water stress, potassium ions leave, water follows out, and the guard cells become flaccid, closing the stoma to conserve water. Transpiration isn't a constant process, it's heavily influenced by several factors, both external and internal. Externally, light is a major driver, as it promotes stomatal opening. Higher temperatures increase the rate of evaporation, thus boosting transpiration. Low humidity creates a steeper water potential gradient between the leaf and the air, accelerating water loss, while high humidity slows it down. Wind speed also plays a role by sweeping away water vapor from the leaf surface, maintaining that steep gradient and increasing transpiration. Internally, the number and distribution of stomata, the total leaf area, and the plant's overall water status all impact how much water is lost. A water-stressed plant will conserve water by closing its stomata. While transpiration leads to water loss, it's undeniably crucial for plant life. The evaporative pull from the leaves creates a continuous tension, known as transpirational pull, which is the primary force responsible for drawing water upward through the xylem, even in the tallest trees. This upward movement also carries dissolved mineral nutrients from the roots to all parts of the plant. Moreover, the evaporation of water helps cool the plant, protecting it from overheating, especially under intense sunlight. In situations where water conservation is critical, like droughts, antitransparents can be used. These substances either induce stomatal closure, form a physical film on the leaves, or reflect sunlight to reduce leaf temperature and thus water loss. Let's test your understanding of the medium-level concepts. Explain how guard cells regulate stomatal opening. How does high atmospheric humidity affect the rate of transpiration? Name two external factors that increase transpiration. What is the primary benefit of transpiration for nutrient transport? And finally, suggest one way to reduce transpiration in plants during drought conditions. Pause and consider your answers. Now, let's challenge ourselves further and delve into the advanced theories and detailed comparisons. The cohesion-tension theory is the most widely accepted explanation for how water ascends against gravity to the top of towering trees. It's a marvel of physics and biology. Firstly, water molecules exhibit strong cohesion, meaning they are attracted to each other due to hydrogen bonding, forming an unbroken, continuous column within the narrow xylem vessels. Secondly, adhesion, the attraction of water molecules to the hydrophilic walls of the xylem, prevents this water column from breaking. The driving force is transpirational pull or tension. As water evaporates from the leaves, it creates a negative pressure or tension at the top of this water column. This tension pulls the entire column of water upwards from the roots, through the stem, and into the leaves, maintaining a continuous flow. Any air bubbles, known as cavitation, can break this column, but the plant's vascular structure helps minimize this risk. It's important not to confuse transpiration with guttation, though both involve water loss from plants. Transpiration is the evaporative loss of water as pure water vapor, primarily through stomata, driven by transpirational pull under dry, warm, and windy conditions, typically during the day. Guttation, on the other hand, is the exudation of liquid water droplets, often containing dissolved solutes, from specialized pores called hydrathodes, usually found at leaf margins. This occurs under conditions of high humidity, low transpiration, and abundant soil moisture, often at night or early morning, and is driven by root pressure, a positive pressure from the roots pushing water up. Understanding these differences is crucial for a comprehensive grasp of plant-water relations. Measuring transpiration directly can be complex, but we use tools like the potometer to estimate it. A potometer measures the rate of water uptake by a detached shoot, assuming that most of this absorbed water is lost through transpiration. While useful, it has limitations, as it measures uptake, not actual loss, and air bubbles can significantly interfere with readings. Plants also exhibit remarkable adaptations to reduce transpiration, especially in dry environments, known as xerophytes. These include a thick waxy cuticle to reduce cuticular loss, sunken stomata located in pits to create a humid microenvironment, hairy leaves to trap moisture, reduced leaf area or spines, and even fleshy stems for water storage, a strategy seen in succulent plants. Some plants, like chem plants, open their stomata only at night to minimize water loss during the hot day. Now, for some hard-level questions. Describe the roles of cohesion and adhesion in the ascent of sap according to the cohesion-tension theory. Differentiate between transpiration and guttation based on at least 3 key features. How does a potometer indirectly measure transpiration, and what is one major limitation of this method? Explain how sunken stomata reduce the rate of transpiration in xerophytes. Why is transpiration often considered a necessary evil for plants? A plant is placed in a humid environment. How would this affect its rate of transpiration, and why? What is cavitation, and how do plants generally minimize its occurrence in xylem vessels? Take your time to formulate thorough answers. All right, future experts. Prepare to conquer the most challenging aspects of transpiration, integrating competitive depth and engineering insights. The cohesion-tension theory, while widely accepted, has been subject to rigorous scientific scrutiny and debate. Strong evidence supports it, including direct measurements of negative xylem pressure using specialized probes and the detection of acoustic emissions, or clicks, which are telltale signs of cavitation, the formation of air bubbles as water columns break under extreme tension. The very anatomical structure of xylem, with its narrow, continuous, lignified vessels, is perfectly engineered to withstand these tensions. However, challenges remain. How do plants efficiently repair embolized or air-filled vessels, especially in towering trees, when cavitation occurs? Root pressure and nocturnal refilling are proposed mechanisms. Precise direct measurements of tension are also technically demanding and can be prone to artifacts. Despite these complexities, the core principles of cohesion and tension remain the cornerstone of our understanding of long-distance water transport. Stomatal regulation is far more intricate than simple turgor changes. It involves a sophisticated interplay of environmental signals and internal signaling pathways. Blue light, detected by photoreceptors like phototropins, is a key signal for stomatal opening, activating proton pumps that drive potassium ion influx. Low internal CO2 concentrations, a result of high photosynthetic activity, also promote opening, while high CO2 levels trigger closure. The stress hormone abscisic acid, or ABA, is a master regulator during drought. It rapidly induces stomatal closure by triggering potassium ion efflux and inhibiting their influx, a critical survival mechanism. These processes involve complex cascades of ion channels, calcium signaling, and protein kinases, demonstrating the plant's finely tuned control over water loss and CO2 uptake. We differentiate between hydropassive closure, due to general leaf wilting, and hydroactive closure, an active guard cell response. Transpiration's role extends profoundly into nutrient uptake and the plant's overall water use efficiency, or WUE. The mass flow hypothesis posits that the transpirational stream creates a bulk flow of water, passively sweeping dissolved mineral ions from the soil solution into the roots and then distributing them throughout the plant. While this passive transport is significant, plants also employ active transport mechanisms to selectively absorb specific ions, highlighting a sophisticated balance. Water use efficiency, defined as the ratio of carbon assimilated through photosynthesis to the water lost via transpiration, is a critical metric, especially in agriculture. C3 plants, common in temperate regions, generally have lower WUE due to photorespiration and daytime stomatal opening. C4 plants, adapted to hotter, drier climates, exhibit higher WUE through spatial separation of carbon fixation, allowing them to close stomata more. Cam plants, like cacti, boast the highest WUE by opening stomata only at night, drastically minimizing water loss during the day. This intricate balance between water conservation and CO2 uptake defines a plant's survival strategy. Environmental stresses pose significant challenges to plant-water relations and transpiration. Drought stress immediately triggers ABA-mediated stomatal closure, leading to reduced growth and, if severe, plant mortality. Salinity stress creates a physiological drought by lowering soil water potential, hindering water uptake and causing stomatal closure. High temperatures increase evaporative demand, and while transpiration provides crucial cooling, excessive rates can lead to rapid desiccation. In the face of climate change, with rising CO2 levels, altered precipitation patterns, and increasing temperatures, understanding transpiration becomes even more critical. Elevated CO2 can sometimes reduce stomatal aperture, potentially increasing WUE, but the overall impact on global water cycles is complex. Research is actively focused on breeding crops with enhanced WUE and drought tolerance to ensure food security in a changing world. This engineering insight into plant resilience is vital for our future. Let's tackle the first 5 hardest level questions. Discuss 2 pieces of experimental evidence that support the cohesion tension theory for water transport in plants. Explain the role of abscisic acid, or ABA, in stomatal regulation during drought conditions, detailing the cellular events in guard cells. Compare and contrast the water use efficiency strategies of C3, C4, and CAM plants, providing an example for each. Beyond mass flow, describe how plants ensure the selective uptake and distribution of essential mineral nutrients despite the bulk movement of water. What is meant by cavitation in the context of xylem transport, and what are the primary mechanisms plants employ to mitigate or repair its effects? Think deeply and apply your knowledge. Now, for the final 5 challenging questions. Analyze how increasing atmospheric CO2 concentration might influence stomatal behavior and the overall water cycle in future climate scenarios. A plant's stomata are observed to be open during the day but close rapidly when exposed to a sudden increase in external CO2. Propose the physiological explanation for this response. How do internal factors like leaf area index and canopy architecture influence the overall transpiration rate of a plant community, and what are the ecological implications? Describe the signaling pathway involving blue light photoreceptors that leads to stomatal opening, including the role of ion pumps. And finally, if a scientist genetically engineered a crop plant to consistently maintain a higher root pressure, how might this affect its water transport capabilities and susceptibility to cavitation under different environmental conditions? These questions require critical thinking and synthesis of advanced concepts. And that brings us to the end of our in-depth exploration of transpiration. We've journeyed from the basics to the cutting-edge science, covering everything you need for your NEET exam and beyond. Remember, mastering these concepts is key to excelling in biology. For more such engaging and comprehensive educational content, practice questions, and expert guidance, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates and new lessons. Your success is our mission. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep aiming for those top ranks. See you in the next session.